Yo,
Happy Thursday, brother. Welcome to the Rose Garden. How are you?
hey, I'm hanging in there. Sister, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. These tech delays keep having us back. It's later than we wanted to do, but this is the breaks of having a live show.
Yeah, it is, sister. It is. But we only like 10 minutes late. That's the customary grace period we give people in the meeting land. You know what I
You
mean?
think, you think we got some grace? You think because I don't want to hear, we got some real Rose Garden police. They be getting on it too, like
No,
loud in.
shout out to Oso. Shout out to your mom Dukes. Shout out
Yep, Meg.
to Megs. Yeah, what up, Megs? What's going
Yep.
on?
Yeah, so all our loyal followers and those who don't know me, I'm Sarita. I am one half of this wonderful sibling pair, and I am joined by my remarkably gifted brother Xavier. You all in white. What's going on?
Well, I was running. Maybe it's the holy day. No, I ain't gonna say that because I don't want to associate the white color with being holy and the opposite of it of not being. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I
It's
got
very
into the all white today. I was just scrambling on the last minute. You know, taking the shower right before the show, which my apologies. I was the delay today. You know what
no
I mean?
good. I thought it was me. I thought, look, and then I didn't, it'd be questionable just the people you got in your life sometimes. So I didn't want nobody to take you or nothing. So I had to send my sentinels out to find you, but boy, were you found. So I'm glad that you were found, and I'm glad that you're here. I see you as being very sterile. I was testing in a room the other day, and the youngster I was testing was like, "It's so white in here." And I was like, "It is." I said, "Let's get out of here." And then he's like, "It makes me think of padded walls." And I'm like, "Have you ever been in a room with padded walls?" She's like, "No, but it just makes me think of it." So I was like, "Let's get out of here and go find us some color."
I
So,
feel you on that. I hear him on that one.
I was like, "We out of here. We gonna go find us some color. No more, all white rooms." So, I'm happy to see you. I
Yeah,
also
same.
I'm policing you today, and I'm checking out that you are not in your medical attire. So that means
Well,
you are on
I
the
can't
way.
rock that joint in the shower. So I took it off for the shower and I had time to put it back on.
That is
I
not how.
literally I literally got out the shower and put a little bit of moisturizer on the skin because I can't let my insulation go chapped and dry, right? You know what I mean? Then I said, you know what? I ain't got time for the sling right now, so I'm gonna go back and put it on once we get off, and then
I don't know
clean
if
up the bathroom after the mess I made. You know what I
I don't know if that's oppositionality or obstinance. I gotta check. I'm gonna check in with my nephew to see if you actually. But this is the second time since the surgery, and you really what 2 weeks out that I didn't see that arm out of the
I
sling.
know, I
Then
know,
you
I
try to
know.
pretend you holding it close to yourself. It will not heal if you do not do what you are told to do.
I've been trying to be a good patient now. I've been trying.
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
trying to be a good boy and listen, but
what the doctor was saying, has the healing been on track?
yeah, so far so good. I mean, it's funny because I would expect them to do some sort of imaging to see if you can really see it because that's the true verification of it. But they haven't done that yet. They just been looking at, the mobility and just asking me questions like, have I fallen down or had an impact or anything. So far, no. Today marks the exact 3 weeks. So I got one more week to go in the sling. Then be out of it and then on the road to rehab,
Graduate. Well, it's a important topic that we're discussing about like taking care of yourself. And I had the pleasure of attending a webinar where they were really breaking down statistics about health and health disparities. And one of the biggest health disparities is black male mental health, but also black male physical health. And so they talked about really understanding what are the reasons why black men don't access care. And so they were given these statistics, and the one of the beauties of the researcher who was talking and the presenter who was talking, she was very honest about the fact that these are all anecdotes that researchers suppose, because one of the things that's missing in research is actually Black male's voice. Like, it's not
Hmm.
like they're going out on the street and saying, hey, why aren't you going to the doctor today? And that these are a lot of anecdotes that one could be not necessarily accurate depiction of what it is, but they do know by the numbers that, you know, more Black males come to seek treatment after an advanced course
Hmm.
of an illness. And they do also know by the number that even though some people have been diagnosed, that they don't follow up with treatment. But again, the reasons, which, you know, I won't perpetuate the reasons, because my it gave me some pause when I heard them, because I'm like, you know, if we believe some of these things on this list, then we believe that there's an impairment in judgment for Black, you know,
Yeah.
and Black males. And I don't believe that. I think that there's some more sociological studies need to be advanced so that we understand things a lot better. So, um, and I don't think we understand it, but I do think we like to put our own spin and um, um, experience to it. So I'm, you know, but since I have you captive in the rose garden, I know you do some things a little different. Like, I know you will go for if you catch a little cold, if you got a bump on your nose, you're gonna go find out. But what do you think are some of the reasons why your counterparts have such a hard time going to seek support?
Yeah, I think it's loaded, right? Because one is aspect of trust that the institutions of medicine are really looking out for the best interest of the people, our people. You know what I mean? So there's a history of distrust there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
also poor service, different service. It's not equal service, so you kind of like do better. You're not going and dealing with these home remedies like our grandmother was giving us and all that, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think there's culturally, we have more like a holistic healing background anyway. Like going back to the home remedies and all of that. Like we rely on it on a different system and uh not always on the scientific shit. And then the last part is it's the tough guy personas that we be putting on, like we don't need that and all that stuff. And sometimes ignorance is bliss. People, when you start finding out something wrong with you, you get a rapid decline. You know what I mean? You rather not know, right? Because
Right. But
you
we
don't
would
get
want to
that
correct that,
degradation.
right? We want to
Yeah,
correct,
yeah,
because we know the
yeah.
science says that the earlier the intervention, the better. And I think that
Yes.
you do bring up some points about like holistic medicine, and certainly for us, we were treated by we were raised by grandparents, so we were exposed to that. But I can't say that everybody was exposed to that level of what is it called, herbal medicines like we were. I remember that when we got the chicken pox, remember, she made it look like she made something from Crisco, but I don't think it was just
Yeah,
Crisco.
that's right. That's what it was. Crisco
Yeah,
was the
it was
was
the
the
base.
yeah, the main ingredient.
There was
Yeah,
some stuff all in that, and then I didn't itch
yeah.
no more. That's all I remember. That taste. So
Yeah, Crisco was a remedy for a lot of things. I'm playing with you, but yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly, for me, the way I think of it is like insurance is a racket, right? So there's two type of main insurance we pay is the medical insurance and then like car insurance and homeowners insurance and stuff.
everybody's showing some racket, brother.
I think so. You know why? Because like, let's say, you paying a perpetual subscription to the privilege of it having access to medical care or access to operating a vehicle, whatever. But the probability of things happening is so slim, right? And then the insurance got the nerve to ask you to co-pay and deductible after you done paid for, let's just say for the average person that is required to have medical insurance, they may not even be going to annual checkup appointments and all that. So let's just say they might go to something every 5 years, an event might happen. So for 5 years, they received all this payment for nothing. They ain't have to pay out a damn thing. So I burn it up. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I do the annual checkup, 4-panel scan, dental, vision, everything. Put me on a 6 month check in for the dental, whatever it is. I burn it up because I'm like, I'm gonna use it because I'm paying for it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's one good philosophy, but think about what and that's that you sound a lot like your brother-in-law because that literally is the spirit by which he approaches it. I think the other thing is, there was early, death in his family. So
Hmm.
people didn't live a lot of long, and his father passed at a younger age. And so that really kind of triggered, I think, in him this responsibility, this feeling to go get checked when you have medical ailments. Now, if we believe that it's all about, insurance being a racket and, using it when we need, well, let's think about the people who don't have insurance. That itself
Hmm.
may be a deterrent because the cost of healthcare is so high. And I also
Yeah,
think we need to have an honest conversation about how, like, medicine is not an exact science. Now, your mom
that's
and I
true too.
conversation recently because she is very much anti-traditional medicine. I mean, she's going to go to her herbalist before she goes to any kind of modern treatment. But what I tried to remind her was that I think you can do both. I think we can do herbalist in our herbal, non-traditional medicines, and also have, a good relationship with your treatment provider. And we don't need to feel like we don't have say in these relationships. Like, if you don't like a treatment provider, go find another one. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's so true.
find persons that will listen to you and work with you. Like, you're not stuck in that. You really are your own best advocate. And I make it akin to, like, healthcare is as important as food. So you're not going to eat slop every day, right? You're going to go and find some food. I mean, that is good to you, not just,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
but you're going
Well,
to go to a treatment provider that, isn't touching you, doesn't have a bedside manner, isn't answering your question. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
I
Um,
think you always should get like multiple perspectives when it's something as serious as your medical thing, right? Because let's just say, for instance, just like we know, like, and there's levels to things in terms of proficiency inside of a profession.
right.
So you could be getting a person that failed their way. They just barely passed their way through school, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They had to cheat, somebody helped them, whatever. And they don't even really like it. That's why I
Right.
always when I see, a medical professional, especially if it's gonna be something that, maybe, it's serious, then I always ask them, why are you doing this? Like, why are you in this industry? Why did you choose this
What
field or
brought you
whatever?
here? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear that they got the love for it, and but you can always tell. I think when you dealing with someone that's a good medical professional, they they show you in the way that they conduct their practice, how they perform, their level of proficiency. Like you said, the dismissive, just checking the box so they can bill type of thing. Like they ain't even looking at what's going on. You can't even really get a straight answer and all that. Versus like I went to this eye doctor. He's a good one. He's really good. His name is
Mhm,
Dr. Alibi. He's from Kenya,
mhm,
Africa, right?
mhm.
And that dude, he be seeing all the. He's an optometrist, but to get on his calendar, he's booked up for a year. I had to wait a whole year to see this
Wow.
dude, right? And then when I go see the dude, I told him that I had a cataract removed from my eye and all that stuff. And when I did that, when they took out the lens in both eyes, they were like, "Well, we gonna basically your natural vision was the left eye is nearsighted and the right eye is farsighted."
Mhm.
But they suggested that I put these lenses in that make both of the eyes be farsighted, so you can see distance and not up close. And and I was telling him that the right eye definitely improved. It's a lot stronger, but the left eye be struggling because naturally it was nearsighted, right? So upon him hearing it, he goes, that's interesting because I think what was happening before was because your natural vision, the left eye was nearsighted, it didn't the brain switched it off when it was looking at the distance. So the optical nerve was only using your right eye. Now they contend with each other. And when he said that, I was like, he is absolutely right. Because I
Mhm.
see when that happens, like I could be doing something and like I'm
Mhm.
seeing everything clear, and then all of a sudden for like a split second it's like fuzzy, and then
Mhm.
it goes back to clear, and I'm like, why the hell is that happening? But
Right.
that's because the brain is now um
Compensating.
resetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like really I got like this double vision effect that's happening in there. And that dude picked up on it. Whereas like the doctor that did the cataracts thing, he didn't he advised me to do this. He was like, I wish you had talked to me before. And I was like, man, you was booked up for a year, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? But you get most doctors that I think are really good, they have that thing, like the inquisitive piece. They asking probing questions, they looking beyond, they can explain the things to you in details, and that demonstrates the expert level. Those people who are dismissive to you, that's a red flag. But
Yeah.
even when you have a good one, I still think like if it's something, like surgery related or, something major, you still should get like three, 2 to 3 different perspectives, because I think, and you should tell them that you're doing that. Like, hey, I'm meeting with Dr. James, and I'm meeting with Dr. Jones, and
Hmm.
Dr. Jones says this, and Dr. James can either validate that or say, oh, I see what Dr. Jones is saying, but I
Let
think
me look
it's yeah,
further.
yeah, yeah. I
Well,
think what I'm seeing is something different.
that level of collaboration, I think, is something that we don't in an ego experience as professionals. I can tell you, so some of this is great dialogue even for me because I'm a treatment
Hmm.
provider, and I will say I love to collaborate because you don't know it all. uh,
Exactly.
I will also say most people,
Hmm.
especially at my level, don't want to, and
Yeah, I
they don't
hear
want to
you.
be questioned, and they don't want to be, they don't want to work illegally. And it's interesting because I called a good colleague of mine who I worked with, both at our practice and then when I was in the schools, we were like this dynamic mental health duo. And I called her because I said, we've never been able to duplicate our show again. Now, by training, she's a social worker, and by training, I'm a psychologist. And I always
Right.
tell people I moonlight as a social worker because the framework that they come from, they ask different questions, and so it definitely builds your understanding of the whole person differently. And what she said was, well, we were different, we were an anomaly, and we did it because purposefully we wanted to work collaboratively to support the people that we work for. Many people don't want to do that because they have this, they go into these experiences for ego experiences. I will tell everybody, it's funny because I have this friend that's always like, I can't wait till I'm a doctor because people are going to do, I'm like, nothing changes. You just, I have literally had my doctor for so long. Like, I'm not diminished when people don't call me a doctor. Like, I'm not their doctor half the time. So I don't got to go to a restaurant and say, I need a table for Dr. James and company. You know, the other thing is, like, I know who I am. I know what I have. Like, it doesn't diminish me. But many people believe, like, saying that doctor, like, makes them feel like they're better than anybody else. It really just proves that we have a ton of discipline because I was in school for 10 years. Nobody really wants to do that. So now I be looking at me like I got 4 heads. And she's like, I don't know how you did it. I was in school for 10 years, and you're still always in school. You're continuously learning, you're continuously training. But what I value is I really do love my job. So I could do this job every day in my sleep. And so burnout doesn't really resonate with me the same way. I do get tired of doing the same things, but I don't necessarily burn out from the experience. And I think that medical doctors and such, they don't work necessarily. Their training isn't set up to, like, let's go talk about these cases. Let's do case collaborations. Let's go call the world expert and figure out how they're doing things. And then the bottom line is they would have to actually admit that we don't know. We're asking, we really don't know. We are supposing, and we're asking questions as we go along. And then the more experience we get with our clients and with our patients, we then become to see their patterns. But it's not ever a hit it and quit it, and I'm able to see everything of a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, yeah, and the discipline is expanding because you guys have that DSM thing
Five.
that, yeah, it's 5 now, but it's 4 iterations before the 5. You know what I'm saying? So like that's supposed to be the guiding principle, but as you can see, it's not the end all be all, right? Because it continues to expand and grow. But it's
Right.
like how Lex Christosomo and his father Wesley, they were talking about in the martial arts, they are always inquisitive, learning, sharing, right? Because you could have a discipline, like you could be really proficient in a certain skill, but you could always learn, from others. And I do think the ego gets involved with stuff like that because being a business owner or whatnot, uh, and being in a position of executive leadership, when people are coming to you for their direction and all, it can be like an ego stroke. And from time to time, I feel like it getting triggered when I'm supposed to be, the person that has the answers, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but but I have been wrong several times, what I'm saying?
Mhm.
People have
Mhm.
shown me that, a better way. So I'm always open to gathering all the facts and then, let's look at it together and then see what makes the most sense. But I
Mhm.
think like as a whole, us humankind, we're so like really humankind has progressed to a certain degree, but we're so distracted by nonsense
Mhm.
that it really interferes with our ability to unlock our highest potentials, with which we
Mhm.
have never even really gotten to yet. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm. I
So,
would agree with
and
that.
so to your point, like those little, like everything is representative of each other. Like it's like yeah, we should have better collaboration and all that stuff, and then that would reinforce confidence in the patient population, because let's just say if you were to preemptively or proactively, collaborate with someone else. Like you see something, you're like, you know what? I got a colleague that I respect their opinion. I want to have them take a look and see what they think, and we'll, compare notes, and then, we'll talk to you about this diagnosis or whatever. I
Absolutely.
think that would make me feel good because I'm like, man, they really
They
care.
Well,
Yeah, yeah,
to
you
your
know.
point, and, we can't have a conversation like this about competence and trust without talking about the structures that broke confidence and broke trust. And
Hmm.
especially, again, I hate going to these trainings sometimes because it's always like it paints Black people in such a negative light. And it's like Black people die and Black people, but I think we can't, we need to really talk about the systems that were in place that made that mistrust happen. They're the Tuskegee syphilis,
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
doctors, nurses were actually inserting patients with syphilis to see the disease course. And we were, picked as guinea pigs and not talked to about
Tricking them without
it.
their permission and consent.
And then
Yeah,
we had a
that's
laugh,
terrible.
where, they stole her gene, her tissue and didn't
Mhm.
give her credit for it yet, and didn't necessarily inform her of what they were doing. So these things have contributed, and that's just like the publicized things.
Mhm.
I'm going to
Mhm.
give you an example from my own experience where, um, first of all, I love my doctor tremendously. We are buddies, okay, and he's been my doctor forever, right? But he wasn't always my doctor, and so I had a very complicated case, early on, and I was getting sick when I was in grad school, and I was having these liver issues, and nobody could explain them. I went to Hopkins, all these different places, all the specialists of the specialist, and people were just putting a band-aid on it. They took my gallbladder out, but I was still having these problems. And so the first doctor told me it was stress, right? And I was like, listen, I'm not in any other kind of stress than anybody else who's in grad school. And I was young. I think I was like 23, 22, when it started happening. So, I ate good. I was, in good shape. I didn't, there was no reason for me to be experiencing these debilitating liver experiences. And everywhere I went, everybody said, it's stress, it's stress, it's stress. But I knew my body. I said, this ain't just like, I know what stress feels like. I want to sleep, I want to eat, I want to do this, but
Mhm.
I don't want to like, go to the hospital so you can give me pain relief. Like that was how bad it was. And so I kept changing doctors. Like literally, I would walk out, when they would, when a doctor wouldn't get the history of it or not ask the same question, you know, I would leave and say, you ain't the right person for me. And so I found my doctor because I was next door to another doctor and I heard him talking to a patient. Now, I will say this, my doctor has absolutely no good bedside manner. And so I know that matters to some people, like, how you're talked to, like, you don't get greeted and like, hi, how you doing? My doctor talks to you like, well, if you keep eating, you're going to die. Like if you're
Well, that's some common sense, matter of fact stuff. But I prefer that when it's something practical like this, right? Where somebody just talks to you to direct, but still with compassion and kindness. But I think definitely, you want to, it's really important to stay on top of what's going on with your body because you don't know. Like again, this is another area that this thing don't come with a manual, and you kind of discovering it over time. Like you said, your body, the baseline
and
of what your body is like.
pain
Hmm.
is telling you to do something. Like,
Hmm.
pain is a motivator. Pain is it's clearly saying do something. And so I
Hmm.
would argue that yes, there are systems that create this mistrust, but then we do have all, I think that's the part I want to kind of send home today is we got agency. You can leave those people, you can find other people, you can,
Hmm.
and find, if you can't do it, take a a friend, a family member, find some of the aides, they're not called aid, the medical assistants, or like I
Hmm.
have such a good relationship with my doctor. The medical assistants are contact me, the other nurse practitioners and medical doctors that work in the practice. I'm confident with all of them because they all collaborate and talk. So like medical systems are systems, and so if you don't find someone there that you like, keep looking. I think that's the thing that is so important, is like keep looking and keep you know asking your own questions. Like don't just believe one thing and then you die of like some weird
Right,
cause because,
right,
you didn't keep going to get the studies,
right. And
and
you have to advocate for yourself. Like expand out. Like right now, I'll be like researching what's happening in other countries and certain areas of medicine and all that. And also, I don't just take for at face value what I'm told. I
Mhm,
measure it against what I feel. I do research on it,
mhm,
and because sometimes, like they say, like dysfunction can be the source of this dysfunction can be in one part of the body, but it could appear somewhere else. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Like you
mhm,
could have
mhm,
like something going on with your digestive tract, and it'll make your eyes will be all blurry, and you'll be
mhm,
thinking it's something
mhm,
with your
mhm.
eyes, but it's really that. So like this whole system is like intertwined. Like I'll be going so far as to getting like the genome sequence, the genetic
Mhm.
testing. So
Yeah.
like if there's any genes that are defective and stuff, because like right now they have the advancement in technology to where they can manufacture a defective gene and like correct it, like fix it. So it's a so I definitely, but
What do you
if you
think
don't know
about being
these
a part
things,
what do you think
huh?
about being a part of clinical trials? Because I think that's also something Black people do. One, don't are not participants. They're also not
Right.
invited, and they also don't do their research to find out how to be invited. Like so, there's a like I think what you're describing is again us taking responsibility and having more
Yep.
agency over what we do. But that means you have to be involved in the medical process and the treatment process. And so I think also recommending that people participate in clinical trials are good, especially if you have a diagnosed condition.
Yeah,
That
100%. I totally agree.
you know.
Definitely the clinical trials, if not at all, even if it doesn't benefit you, it's definitely going to benefit somebody. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? So
mhm,
sometimes you got to look at it, as that, like maybe you might be the guinea pig test case, but you might help somebody else in the long run. But for our communities though, there's still one barrier, which is the cost of the
yeah.
healthcare and like how to overcome that. To me again, there's and that's also personal responsibility. And I know it sounds like the cart before the horse because like people's financial management, like you got to kind of take the onus on that. But it's like, it's several different factors that go into it. Number one thing is you got to figure out how to monetize a marketable skill or talent you have. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whether
Yeah.
that's turning over rocks or sweeping the sidewalk or
Yeah.
washing cars or cutting grass or whatever, you got to maximize a marketable skill. And then when you
Right.
get some money, you have to definitely, every time you get any piece of money, put some money to the side for
Uh-huh.
sure. And
Right.
that, and this way, it'll get you to live underneath your means and not beyond your means. Because truth be
Yeah.
told, I think living beyond your means is totally stupid. Be real, just to say straight up, it's dumb, right? Because why stress yourself out for what? Because it's like
Right.
because the impetus to living beyond your means is like impressing other people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But if
That
you
ego.
got something,
Turn it
yeah, it's
down.
the ego. So if you could only afford uh, a 80 square foot home, but it has everything you need. You know, you got a refrigerator, kitchen, bathroom, shower, bed, all that. Dude, who needs an 80,000 square? Who cares? Like, that's your home. Be proud about it. Do this stuff, and then stack up chips. Build additional marketable skills. Like, this is the turtle race. This slow and steady. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you can always change things, but I think we all want the right now. And I think definitely what happens in the right now is determining what's going to occur in the future, right?
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes the right now is, well, let me build up something that can turn into something for me. Like I could turn this straw into gold, you know what I mean? But I need the machine. So I'll start building the machine one
Right.
piece a day. I heard I was watching this little movie while I'm working late last night,
Hmm.
and I heard these people, they was about to walk from one country to the next country, and that joint was 1,200 miles, right?
Wow.
And when I heard it at first, and the dude was telling, it was a grown man telling a little boy, like, we gonna walk to this place. And the boy was like, wow, like, how far is it? He's like, 1,200 miles. So he's like, what? And then the guy said, it's all right. We gonna walk 12 miles a day. And I was like, that's interesting because breaking it down to 12 miles a day make it totally doable because
Yeah.
anybody could do that, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, we're gonna do 12 miles a day. So that meant had me doing the math, right? While I watching this one, I was wondering, I was like, how long would it take 12 miles? So that'll take you 100 days to walk 1,200 miles. So it's gonna take them 3 months to get from one place to the next,
Hmm.
but they're gonna get there.
They're
You
gonna
know what I'm
get
saying? Yeah,
doable.
and the dude, the older dude told the young guy, the first step is the hardest. And I was like, damn, if that was a jewel he's dropping on this dude. So that's
It's
like,
rules. I think that I think what you're saying is so important, and I don't want to run from it. Is that when you're starting out trying to figure out who you are and what you are, responding just to the ego and saying, "Let me show you all who I am," is not the way to sustain yourself. Which is let me also show myself who I am, right? Because that's setting those small goals that's for you. That's not for
mm-hmm,
the world to see.
mm-hmm,
And I think that's a big problem for all of us. I think
mm-hmm,
also if we bring it back to the medical discussion, some people are just so embarrassed about what they may find,
mm-hmm,
right? But we need to be able to take ownership over our choices. So if
mm-hmm,
let's just say uh, you know, we have a lot of family members who are smokers,
mm-hmm.
and so it's almost like when they have a cough or whatever, a lot of them say, "Oh, that's the smoker's cough," and I'm like, "Well, you don't know if that's just smoke or if that's some kind
Right.
of like go to the doctor and find out." But it's almost
Mm-hmm.
like they don't want to really find out because of the fact that they're smoking, and so that
Yep.
shame around smoking makes them say, "Well, it's okay because I smoke," instead of like, go
Mm-hmm.
figure it out, go see what is, we know smoking's doing something. It's a teratogenic,
Mm-hmm.
but that might
Mm-hmm.
not be the issue right now. You might have pneumonia. You might need
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Right.
So
Something
we
resolvable.
but
Yeah.
something resolvable. So it's like, I think we need to take ownership of it. And I think Black people need to see themselves being able to do that. Now, since we are, how do you talk to the people who are resistant and committing a misdemeanor, such as yourself, who you're in treatment, you went and got you did the surgery, but it's hard to follow through 100% of what they. Speak to those people. How can we help them today?
Well, since I'm one of those people, I know that I feel like and probably wrongly, I feel like I'm special, extraordinary, right? Like I'm like, man, I heal fast, all that stuff.
Is this
Um,
what you say you said to yourself?
but I know I do. I know this is true. I heal fast, all this. But the thing is that yeah, if I do the wrong things, I pay for it later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it's a thing of being patient. But this whole thing, once again, like they say, like the principle, I forget the principle of like continuity or some shit, I can't remember, or correspondence. But
Mm-hmm.
basically it's this, as above, so below type of thing. Now
Mm-hmm.
if I can't be patient with, like, my body's healing process, me trying to set a goal or objective and achieve it, it'd be hard for me to be patient on that too, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I do see how, like, uh, it's the thing with the body is the body to me is like a vessel, like a ship, literally, like it's its own little planet, and somewhere my consciousness is dwelling inside of this planet, right? You know, but it's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So like keeping the arm in the sling, can't move that arm, doing this stuff, and just I sit in the chair, my elbow hits the arm of the chair, or something. It's really challenging to totally immobilize it
Mm-hmm.
when I have I guess you could say voluntary and involuntary movements being signaled to it from my brain. So it's hard to do it, but it takes dedicated commitment to make that happen. You know, so I'm trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying my best. And I
I'm,
think for the most part, like 85% of the time, see, this is where I think like as a humankind, we have to give ourselves some grace, because I feel like most of the time I'm doing it. Sometimes I don't. You know what I'm saying? But as long as I'm doing it more than more, I'm following it more than I'm not. I think that's okay. You know what I mean?
that's one of those examples where when we talked about last week, we do a lot to forgive ourselves.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
cognitively, you're making room to forgive yourself. The other thing is, because I like to define things as they're presented to me, this idea of being an extraordinary person is an actual thinking area. It's grandiosity. And,
True.
again, that's an ego aspect of your ego that, you may need to turn down because you are but a mere mortal. And the
Mhm.
reality is, remember I broke my leg? And I had some of those same challenges where, I'm doing it more. It took one whole year to heal that. A year,
Right.
a
Right.
year and a displaced hip because I wouldn't do what they were, telling me to do. And so because of that thinking error, it created more physical problems than, were necessary. And so I want you to turn that aspect of yourself down, and all your brethren who have a hard time, following directions. And
Well,
I
I agree with that. Like that grandiosity, you got to be careful with. I mean, that little nursery story, nursery. I call it a nursery rhyme, but it's the story you learn. All kids learn when they're kids about the race between the tortoise and the hare,
hmm
and
hmm
how the tortoise is super fast. So he got talent. He is extraordinary in terms of speed,
You
and
mean
his
the
speed.
hair? The hair is the
Yeah,
hair is
I'm sorry. Yeah,
the
my bad.
tortoise is
The
slow.
hare, yeah, the tortoise is slow, right?
Right.
So compared to the hare, there's no comparison. So like, definitely, if you say the tortoise is ordinary, then the hare is definitely extraordinary when it comes to speed.
Right.
But
Right.
he's so confident in in that difference. He's doing reckless things. I'm running a race, but I'm gonna go eat. You know, go take a break and have lunch, because this dude ain't no way he gonna catch up.
Right.
But
Right.
this dude's steady on the race. He never stops, right?
Right.
And he ended up beating the hare because of that. Like what I would say, that the lack of grandiosity, where he's like, I have to work hard. I
Mhm.
cannot stop. I have to do this thing or whatever. So you're right, that grandiosity can be a trap, but sometimes it's real. Like, like the hair is extraordinary, but you don't just sleep on it. Him knowing that he's extraordinary, he might as well just have finished the race
Right.
before he did anything else. Like, what was the problem with just
What
being like, I'll just smoke this dude, get this race up in my rear view, and then I'll go do everything else while he's still trying to finish, right?
Well, that's the problematic way that grandiosity can interfere.
Mm-hmm.
What you're
Mm-hmm.
saying is there's both positive and negatives to it because it could also
Mm-hmm.
do exactly what you said. Let me just smoke this dude, do what I got to do. And
Mm-hmm.
recognizing your exceptionality is not what I'm suggesting, like to limit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think
Right,
we should
right, right.
have exceptional talents, exceptional gifts. It's things like, though, when it's interfering, and I'm bringing
Right,
it up
right.
because I think that it could be one of those things. Labs wrote this in the text in the chat about maybe that's what is preventing some men from getting treatment is this idea of I'm superhuman, I'm better than others. I will say this too: there is a belief that the body will just heal itself. I've heard that consistently from some communities, like especially like when you are, talking about something like maybe like mental health medicine or medicines that they feel like can be healed with food. I hear this all the time from people saying, well, my body wants to survive, it's going to heal itself. And I would argue that there is some truth to that. But
Definitely.
there's no research that says that if utilizing certain things that will optimize the functioning of the body is
But
negative.
that is right there, or what you just said, I 100% agree with. I think it's just another thing of ignorance, right? Because let's just say, for instance, if we were born right now, we babies, and we born, and a baby doesn't know exactly what it needs. It just knows what it feels, right? So like right now, I'm hungry as a baby, a new consciousness in this world,
Hmm.
not knowing how to interact with this world and what the body needs. I feel this hunger, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Stomach rumbling, all this. I'm feeling hungry. I don't know. I need to eat, or I'm going to die. If I
Right,
don't eat in a couple days, it's gonna be over with me, right? You
right.
know what I mean? So to me, that's like that's why I say, like, in this world, there's like invisible principles and visible principles, right? And
Hmm.
that's like one of those invisible ones. Like, there's some things you got to do to fuel an organic, you know, body,
Hmm.
and if you don't do it, then it ain't gonna be right. And we just need to know, like, like, say for instance, like with the body or whatever, you need to know, like, when this thing happens, right? The shoulder thing tore, right? I didn't know what happened. I just know I feel a little funny, right?
Right,
The
right.
imaging thing tells me exactly. You tore some cartilage around your shoulder. Okay, now what can I do about it? So now it's being informed so you can make a good decision. Well,
Right.
if you do nothing, ain't nothing gonna happen because it can't reattach itself, right? So in order
But
for
you're
it to actually
extraordinary.
heal,
You told
huh?
me you were extraordinary. You said you were
Well,
extraordinary.
I
So,
wasn't going to do nothing. So there's a decision point. Do something about it or do nothing. So I was okay. If I don't do anything, what's the option? Well, the option is to build the muscles around it so that you know they can compensate for what happened.
mhm.
Now, okay, what's the downside to that? And my own mind is, well, the fact that it can't heal itself because it's cut off from its blood supply and all that stuff is it's going to atrophy. It's going to
Yeah.
die because it ain't doing nothing. So, what larger problems can happen from doing nothing, right?
Right,
So I
right,
said, okay, well, I want to fix it, so let's reattach it to the blood supply, let it fuse back with the body, and let it reattach itself because it needed help to do that. But
right.
you need to be informed to know that. But some people, um, and I could have like muscled through it, like that. I could have done that too. That was an
Mhm,
option.
mhm.
But I felt like now that I'm informed, now that's the uninformed option, is like just muscle through it. But the informed option is like, well, you could, but it don't make sense to take that route because it's gonna probably be worse over time, and that pain you're gonna like that now will be something that you're gonna always have to deal with, right?
Right,
Whereas if you fix it, you might get this, the the momentary pain, like this
right,
temporary
right.
pain for this period of time, but it will heal and it'll be better than maybe it was before, type of thing.
Okay.
And now lots of things, like what made it happen, you know, with the dysfunction that you're doing. So it's just information, you know, it's the same type of thing I was telling, you know, our mom, you know, the invisible principles of like gravity and air, right?
Right.
So those two principles we manipulate to fly how many ton plane
Hmm.
through the air. Like that seems impossible. You know what I
Right.
mean? When
Right.
you see it, but by manipulating these two invisible properties that we've studied and we know, but then I wonder how many other invisible properties are there like this? You
Right.
know what I mean? That we just don't, we're not aware of. That
So what I hear you saying
yeah.
is, so here's there's some real good fix. One
Mhm.
is go to the, like you have to actually be motivated and go get the help you need. Then two,
Mhm.
advocate for yourself in those situations and
Mhm.
make sure that there's a relationship built. Then three, it
Mhm.
sounds like you need to turn down the egoic aspects of yourself that might be interfering with you following through. For you, it is that you were extraordinary. And all of a sudden, this extraordinary person who could heal fast, who could do all this, had to recognize they were just a mere mortal and do what the doctor told them to do. Now, the fourth part, which I think you got cousins and you still not quite as healed in, is now it's the follow through with that and
100.
being
100.
patient enough. That's I think that's a human issue, is that we're not patient enough to follow through, to do all the
Mhm.
therapies, to do the wear your sling, which I hope by the time you get off the air you're gonna be tied up. If not, I'm gonna come over there and put it on you myself.
Well, I am because I had to like condense my routine, so I even be able to put a little lotion on my back. I got an itchy back, you know what I'm saying? That's like one of those joints where you want you
That's the
you
last thing you do in the winter is an
I know
itchy.
you would I know. I was like, yeah, I can see how when you be talking about the empty closet where it could come in handy to have a second set of hands. Like, I need some help. Put some
Now,
put
now
some
you
lotion
want
on
now
my
you
back.
want to go to the group chat. Now you want to go to the group chat because you and me because your back is itchy.
Yeah,
Don't go
that's
to
all
the
I
group.
need is a little bit
Don't
of lotion on my back.
go to the group chat because your back is itchy. You over there treating them gals like they not of any. But this is. I always tell people this because people ask me all the time. Or not all the time, but I'll say I have discussions with people and they're like, "Do you really like being married?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
I
I
hear
said,
you on that.
I have pumped any gas. I ain't. I don't even. I have not performed menial tasks that yes I could do. Right, like there are things I could certainly do. I don't want to.
I
I
hear
don't
you on that.
want to do it. And because I got me a man, that's what he do. I don't.
That's
I don't.
right.
I
That's
don't have to
right.
think about it. I can't remember the last time I listen. I think I almost ran out of gas one time because but I made it home. But the light came on, and I was like, "What the hell is that light?" I didn't even know what the light was until I got home, and I was like, "Oh, that was the gas light." So I I don't. Yes, I love being married because I got a man. Now I want that for you. That's why I keep talking to you about this empty closet you got. There are so many
well,
benefits.
well, you know what I think is this, right? First of all, I think it's definitely beautiful that what you and you know, your husband had, my brother-in-law and all that. But I feel like, you know, uh, I've I'm one of the unlucky people, right? That haven't been able to um connect genuinely with a person that has the singular most important quality, which is commitment to being connected with me in that way. You know, because I
But
do
you,
think that like, all right, put it this way. You know how we are talking about in terms of relationships, but also I keep going back to also because he he expressed this and I resonated with it, which was, you know, as much as we men, you know, are tough and we got these external exteriors and shit, it's like you could see a dude still yields to love. You know what I'm saying? So like in the way he was expressing, he was talking about his love to his children, you know?
right,
So
right.
even though, you know, he is the parent and all this all you know, ultimately, yeah, he can apologize for choices and things that may have happened that, you know, created outcomes to them that weren't favorable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if they felt some type of way about that, you know, his ego and pride definitely gonna be defensive and all that stuff, but he will yield, you know, to them on this. And
Mm-hmm.
I say ultimately I'm willing to do that, you know, with mind within reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying in terms of
Mm-hmm.
they gotta come respectfully with trust and all this stuff, but because there's real love there, I'm always willing to yield my own pride and ego. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Now I feel like a lot of people, and you know, this definitely speaks to the abandonment or attachment or detachment issues, you know, a person has.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that people's pride and ego and fear, you know, their emotions and thoughts keep them from wanting to yield to the other and be connected with them. Now I
Mm-hmm.
see you and your husband have that, like despite whatever y'all go through, whatever, you know, y'all want to be with each other. Just like how you answered that question. Like, you know, it comes down to life is always that these
Choices.
binary intersecting points. And the point is, do you want it or not? When the
Correct.
person asks you, you say, hell yeah. You know, if the person asks your husband that, he said the same thing. But
Right.
it shows in
I
y'all
hope you did
actions.
the same
You
thing.
know, like let's just say a person said, get the fuck out. Nigga go out the front door, he come back in the back. You know what I'm saying? She go out to the she go
They go to
she,
their car
she
and wait. Listen, this is this when me and Bruce were young, we're like there are iterations of who you are, right? So when we were really young, like I always say in my 20s, we were feisty. So fighting meant something, like all this fighting with, with the ego immediately out there, and I would be like,
Mhm.
you ain't gotta be here,
But
And
that's not
he
what you really want in your heart. You're like, please, nigga, don't go. Don't leave.
I would say now I never say that. I always say like my go to now is just like please leave me alone. I don't want to fight about this or something like that. So it's interesting the iterations that you go through because I recognize that words do have power, and the more you say things too in a relationship, the more a person believes, even if it's something like like I said, you when you're young, you're modeling the things that you see on TV or relationships that you saw, which I wouldn't say there was like one healthy relationship where I was like, oh, that's the way to be in a marriage. So you learn with your partner. But I used that was my go-to. You ain't gotta be here. You ain't gotta be. And then I think now, like, man, if I had let that be my truth, I'd be pumping gas, shoveling snow, taking out
Especially if
trash.
his ego had triggered on it. Was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I don't gotta be here. I'm out. You know, but hey, that remind me of how we was talking about like Martin Lawrence and them. So
Yeah.
I love that Martin show because he had a episode in there where he did a thing like that where he was telling Gina, he was like, you know what, Gina, go step, get out here, step. And then when she was about to get out the door, he said, Gina, Gina, Gina. No, no. He's like, no, you won. You won. Like, I laughed because I was like, yo, that's how it is too.
That's
You
how
know
it is.
what I mean?
So
That's how
I
it
hope the group chat. You probably want some favor in the group chat today. I hope that you get to a point where you will be able to do that same thing for somebody that's trying to put their clothes in your closet. You might get ahead of your skis for something with that,
is.
and then you come back and say, no, 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 I need your clothes in my closet. Go ahead. This space
well,
is you.
Dave, my homeboy, well, Wes's people, Dave, and subsequently through West, Dave, who passed away,
Yeah.
the lady he had a baby with, which I consider her still his girl. Even though she got a
Yeah.
new man, and I refer to her as her name's Sanaya. So shout out to her. So she says to me one day, we was having some real talk, on just relationship shit, and she goes, she feels like men, they like beat their woman down emotionally so bad, right? So that they can see that they're down for them. You know what I'm saying? So basically it's like, and I see that I could see what she means. It's like, what I really want to see is that a person will stick it in with me no matter what.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
order to see that, you got to take them to some deep waters, right? Where
Mhm.
anybody else would have ran, from
But
at
they
this
understand.
point.
Yeah.
But this person decided, well, for whatever reason, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And now because they did that, you're like, well, that shows me love. And you call it like sacrifice and all that, but it's really choosing the other person over yourself. So and most people can't do that. Like they
Hard.
want something, and then they want you to give it,
Hmm.
but they don't really want to give what you need back, even when you say it. Like
Right.
if even when you tell them like, this what I need from you, and they're like, well, fuck that nigga. You give me,
Right.
i need
You can do
i
this
need
first.
this from
Yeah.
you.
Right.
If you do this, then I'll submit and do everything. But I'm like, that's bullshit,
Yeah.
because if you had that capability to do it, you would be doing it already.
Already.
So
Right.
no matter what I do, you ain't going to do it. So
Right.
let's get off of that. But I want that part, where like
Well, it's
when
gonna
a
come.
person demonstrate that.
You
Huh?
gotta, and it'll come. You gotta look for, and you gotta recognize. I noticed that I said I didn't always have that quality. So people do grow as relationships grow. But brother, our time be getting fat,
Well,
getting.
well, I gotta run the game with you today.
Oh, you got a game for me.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got a game.
about you got a
I,
game.
me,
Good.
me, me, and your husband, my brother-in-law Bruce. What up, Bruce? Salute to you. We done got together,
Oh
and
Lord.
we came up with a game for dear old Dr. James. The game is,
Okay.
let's see how well y'all know each other.
Oh
So
my
I
goodness.
asked your husband a series of questions. So I'm gonna pick three of these questions from this.
Okay.
I
See
wish I wonder if there's a way we could get him on so we could see what he say about yours, right?
how can we
I,
do that?
I don't know. We would have to send him the link or something. I don't know.
Let me see if we can share the link real quick.
All right. So while you working on that, I'm gonna pull up
Let me
the
see if
questions, and then we gonna run into
let me
it.
share the link. Oh, I see. There's an invite. Let me email it to him and then tell him to hop on because this seems like there has been some coordination here that is important. Um,
All
oh, y'all,
right.
they're coordinating it. All right, there's the link. I'll send him the link so maybe he can hop on.
All right.
Uh,
So this is what I'm gonna ask you of him. So this is a question that I asked him,
you
and you
asked
tell me
you
I
me?
asked him. So this is the his questions, and I want to know what your answer. So
Okay, go
I
ahead.
asked him, what is your greatest regret? What do you think he said?
What is my greatest
No,
regret?
his greatest regret, his own. I was asking him. I said, what's your greatest regret, brother-in-law? What do you think he said?
Greatest regret. Hmm. Uh, let's see. What is his greatest regret? Gosh, that's gonna challenge me. Is okay. I need some context. Are we talking about like personal regrets or regrets related to like our relationship?
No, this is personal.
Personal
This
regrets.
is
Okay.
his greatest regret personally.
His greatest regret personally. Hmm. Regret. I don't think he has any regrets, but I will say something that he probably wish he could do over. Um, he's been a great husband. So maybe waiting to go to school so long, or like choosing himself instead of like giving. Like he does a lot for me. Like going to school, waiting to go to school.
Hey,
You know,
that was a good like dig to pull a rabbit out the hat. And I like the way you I like the
yeah,
way you I like the way you probe for the context. So that was good. No,
yeah.
his answer to that was his greatest regret was not having the opportunity to tell his father
Oh,
some things he ought to have said before his father passed.
oh,
What up, my
Hey,
brother?
good. What's up,
How you
family?
doing, brother-in-law?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It is great to be in the Rose Garden.
Man, welcome, my brother. Welcome.
welcome.
Yes, yes.
I
Yeah,
just, I just
this is the husband that
wrong.
this the husband that the sister always is talking about, man. Welcome, brother love.
It's good to be in the Rose Garden. It's good to be with y'all.
Hey man,
Okay.
so I asked her the first question, which was what was the greatest regret, and she said that it was she thought it might be that you waited so long to go back to school,
Okay.
and but I told her what you said about not being able to have the opportunity to tell your father the
Right.
things that yeah.
That's more accurate. That's more accurate. That's more accurate. Okay.
I got you. I got you. All right.
So
Let's go.
you ready for the next one?
Next one.
All right. Hey, these are some good joints. What's one bad habit? What's one bad habit that you're proud of breaking? That he's proud of breaking. What do you think is a bad habit that he's proud of breaking?
Bad habit that he's okay. So he does a lot, but okay. So he ascends to heaven when he gets home. So he like takes off his clothes, and like the great ascension happens, and it's like a pile of shit at the door, and there's no like cleanup fairy that comes behind him. I'm the cleanup fairy. So um, that for years used to be our argument. And he's fixed that for the most part. He doesn't. The great ascension doesn't happen anymore.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So is that the final answer?
That's
Is that
my
the final?
answer. Yeah.
You might need to phone a friend, but let's go ahead.
What was his answer? What was his answer?
You want to tell her, brother?
No, you got it. Go ahead.
All right. His answer on this was that he broke the habit of being stubborn and then shutting down during disagreements.
Okay, he's still working on that.
Hey, brother-in-law, I always tell him I'm still under construction. We
He's
still
still-
working on that.
We some evolving processes.
He's
That's
evolving
right.
in that area, but you still have some work to do. But that's okay. I'll give you that.
We
What's
may
the
have to
next?
give you a softball question. You open
Oh
too.
yeah, these are hard. All right,
All right,
go
all right,
ahead.
let me give you an easier one. Right. So I asked him. I always believe that when people are growing up, that there's one person in their life that they want to make the most proud of them. So I asked him that who you think is the person in his life he wanted to make the most proud.
Ooh, that's a good question. His mom and me.
You got that right.
Mom and me. Like,
You
because
got that
nobody
right.
mess with his mama. Nobody mess with his mama. So his mom and me.
That
So
is
then-
accurate.
Then to do this, then I guess to ask you, you gonna have to text me the question so I know your integrity is.
So we know that it's intact. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I'm gonna ask Bruce. So Bruce, what do you think her greatest regret is?
Her greatest regret.
Yeah, and text me the answer, sister.
All right, I'll text you this real quick.
I would say that her greatest regret is, oh, this is so good. My wife's greatest regret. You ready, Sarita?
Yeah.
Is waiting for so long to start dating me. I had to wait 2 years
I think that's true, brother.
from
I think that's true.
1996 to 1998. I put in a lot of work for those 2 years.
Listen, that is not my greatest regret. But I think my greatest regret for that I would say about our relationship is that I waited too long to like listen. That's what I was gonna like because we were both very like I don't know, fiery, like passionate, like when I was younger, and so I didn't listen in arguments, and so I wish I listened more because now I understand him in different ways.
I feel that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That let me get a little tissue. That's touching.
What was it?
All
That
right.
was, ask him the next one. Ask him the next one.
Yeah, give it the next
All right,
one.
so what do you think is the one thing that she would love to change about herself?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got this one. All right. The one thing I think she'd like to change is she's a workaholic. So I think she'd like to settle down more, shut the work off a little more, and spend more time for herself to kind of relax, kind of take a deep breath and just enjoy the day. She works around the clock, so that would be my answer.
Yeah. What you
My
think?
answer was cook. I wish I could cook good like you cook.
Oh, you're pretty good. She can cook. I like your food,
I
baby.
can't cook like you.
Hey, so, you know, that's a superpower. Hey, what she was saying, that's the grandiosity right there.
That's right.
That's his exceptionalism. I forget the word she was saying. I'm searching for that word. She told me it's some exceptionalism or something like that.
Grandiosity, you said it.
All right.
I'm 0 for 2. I need a softball.
Yes,
All right, this will be an easy
All
one. This will
Go
be
ahead.
an
Go
easy
ahead.
one. All right. So what did she enjoy yesterday?
What did she enjoy yesterday? Oh, we watched a movie for date night, Table 19. It was an awesome movie. 1 hour and 28 minutes long. I even know how long it was.
It was hilarious.
It really was. It was a good
hilarious.
watch.
It was a great watch too. It
So
was
let me ask y'all both a couple questions.
Let's do it.
So what do y'all think is the most important aspect to keep a strong marriage thriving? Is it these date nights y'all got? And like how y'all do these date nights? But what do y'all think is the aspect?
So I'll start if you don't mind. So communication is the most important part of it, right? I think communication keeps us intact. It keeps us happy because we don't sugarcoat anything. We're pretty honest with each other, and we work extremely hard to listen to the other person and make sure that everyone's needs are being met. So I would say communication is the key that keeps us happy and together.
That's what's up.
Effective communication.
Effective, yeah. We got better over time. And I think the other part is that we still have a lot of things that we enjoy doing together. So like our life is not mundane or boring. We actually have things that we like to do together and we do them. So I think I can count on my husband, you know, spontaneously saying we're flying to Miami to get their dessert and we'll do that, you know, or you know, we're going to go find a new restaurant. So I love that about it. Our relationship is that we do a lot of things together.
Yeah, it doesn't get boring, right? Because you never know what's happening.
It doesn't.
No
part of
our life is boring.
Yeah.
Oh, this was fun. I love having the Rose Garden. We're gonna do this in a different version because I love.
We got to bring Bruce on as a guest so we could talk about like the relationship situation a little bit.
Oh, I would love to. Anytime. Anytime.
That's great. Maybe we can do them next week. We got to go now, but maybe next week we can really dive into like.
Yeah, let's do that.
We had evolutions too, because you know I've been with him since I was 19, so. You know, like that, you know, I'm not the same person I was at 19 and our relationship has evolved. So, you know, we definitely have to talk about that. We definitely have
no doubt, because y'all had a lot of, I guess you say major life altering events happening, especially early on in y'all relationship.
Absolutely.
And then, so y'all have evolved and grown a lot, but definitely y'all are one of the, you know, like the benchmarks of a successful relationship that everybody looks towards. So, you know, kudos to y'all on what y'all have done. Awesome. Y'all definitely are a blessed union. We
trying to get your closet filled too, brother.
That's right.
And you know, I love you being in the Rose Garden, brother. I always love hanging out with you in the Rose Garden. To everybody that joined us today, this was so fun and unexpected for me. So it was, you know, you put me in the spot. I love it. I love when you be trying to, you know, I'm gonna do it better next time. My game is good.
Y'all ain't do too bad, and y'all hit on some good solid stuff. Like everything y'all said wasn't surface; it was deep. You know what I mean? Right. And it probably is on the list, even if it wasn't the top.
That's right.
All right, I love y'all both. Thank y'all so much. Bye.